I'll go ahead and hit the record button. Who's excited about some goals for this year?
Me!
Guys pumped? Did anybody fill out the forms that I put on the Facebook groups?
Oh, no. I didn't get a chance.
I just saw them. I need to print
Okay,
them.
it was just like an hour or two ago. That's
Quinn's
okay.
been too busy skiing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is get started. So I'm going to go ahead. I hate to mute you guys because you know I love you. So, but I'll have to mute you just in case. So tonight we're going to talk about goals and milestones. And I'm just so glad that you guys are on here because you're really committing to bettering yourself, you know, and I really didn't envision how important the goals and the milestones were till I really worked on this, you know, and they say the teacher learns the most. And over the years, I've had one certain person actually remind me of my goals. It's really awesome when somebody does that. And I don't even know how it ended up on email, but I think I had copied and pasted some goals and sent it to that person. And then they would send it back to me every once in a while. So it's great when we have those conference wrap-up sheets and then we send them back as like little reminders. Hey, remember this goal? Because really what we do as leaders, we hold people's dreams and visions for them sometimes. So it's really important that we collect goals from our team too, so that we can remind them or just shoot them an email and say, hey, you're working on your goals. It's really cool that you just achieved one, you know? And we hear Julie talk sometimes about the pen that she wrote out for Amy many years ago and how that's come to fruition. And so it really doesn't matter sometimes how long it takes, as long as you're pursuing, you know, you're in the act of growth and pursuing your goals and your dreams. And so this is really a Zoom for you guys. You know, it might seem like it's about me at certain points because I have to use myself as an example and my journey. But that's only to show you guys vision. And that's only to just help you to see that dreams do come true. Even dreams that you didn't really realize that you might have. As you guys know, Doug being home, that wasn't anything that really, well, I think I actually did run across that on one of my goal sheets. But it really wasn't something we pursued. I think it may have been an inkling, but it wasn't something we even knew was going to happen. So when I talk to your new people and you get me on the line with your new people, I am confident. I say to them, this is a vehicle to pursue and realize whatever dreams you might have. And really it's putting that one step in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other, every day, just working toward those goals, you know, and some people move faster, some people move slower, but if you are progressing, you're growing. So it's really neat. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'll try to find my PowerPoint. Here we go. Oops. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to just talk about different goals and milestones along the journey. So this is me on the porch trying to come up with this talk for you guys. And there is a folder of so many papers over the years. And so I feel really bad. I don't think that we've worked on goals lately. And that really was nice for me to find all these different papers dated different years and really just reflecting, because the new year, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of refocusing. It's a time of, oh my gosh, finally things have calmed down for the world. You know, there was just, everything was at a little bit of a slower pace, and it's a great time to look at yourself, your life, where you want to be, say in 1 year, where you want to be in 5 years, where you want your next year to look like, what you want the next school year to look like, whatever. Just designing where you want to be and what you want to do, things like that. So, oh, somebody's chatting. If you're not muted, please mute. I do hear somebody. I'm not sure who. Let me see if I can mute. Okay. So why pursue goals? You know, it gives you long-term vision, gives you short-term motivation to pursue those goals. It helps you to focus on acquisition of knowledge or skills. It helps you to organize your time. This is what I see the most that it does. It helps you to say yes to certain things, no to other things. You know, because we and I'm reading this book that's really good right now by Rory Vaden. He talks about, you've got all these things you want to do, but there's not enough time in the day to do them all, in all these different areas of your life. And so he says there's time management, there's priority management, but sometimes it comes down to significance management. And he says that's the third dimension of priority, and so when you start to look at what is the significance of what I'm doing, is it going to be significant years from now, what I'm doing today? That's how he calls these people multipliers, how certain people get a lot more done in a day. They are called multipliers, and they look at not just time and what they're doing and goals and the urgent and the importance, but significance of those things. So goals in general helps you to organize your time, to say yes or no, your resources, what kinds of things you might pursue, what kinds of things you might buy, what kinds of things you might invest in, so that you can then make the most of your life, because goals are based on what you want. But if you don't really write them down, they may not happen. So it's really important to write them down. And what I noticed in all my culmination of looking at all mine, my goals were written down many different times in many different ways, and they didn't always come to fruition when I thought they might have. But it's good to just, and it wasn't always the same goal sheet. I don't think there's a perfect way to write down goals. I think it really involves you dumping your mind out and saying, this is what I want for my life, and taking that time to really have that introspection. And then one of the books I read last year said every 90 days, take some time out, go to the beach, go to the library, go wherever, to revisit, how am I doing the last 90 days based on the goals that I set forth, Earl Nightingale, he's one of my favorites. And I did put that talk into our Voxer chats. It's a half an hour, and it's also a book, which is amazing. And he's the one that made me realize that success is the worthy realization of a goal. So you always want to put out a goal in front of you so you'll feel like a success. So it doesn't matter how big it is, how small it is, but the more you feel successful, the more confident you're going to be, the bolder you're going to be, you're going to feel powerful. And so it's really important to put out those goals, because the worthy realization of them makes you feel like a success. And it is a success because that's really, it's just you're moving forward. So my question to you is, are you putting goals out there so you can feel successful? That is very helpful. So work on making your own goals. Now, some people feel like they just have a lack of control. They're a wandering, what is it called? I can't think of it. Amy Getz uses it. And she says, be a meaningful specific, a wandering generality. That's what it is. Are you a wandering generality? Are you just kind of floating along, or are you letting the waves move you back and forth wherever you're going in life? Or do you have direction? Because it's not necessarily that we have a lack of time. It's that we might have a lack of focus. We don't have direction. Direction is what creates time. So the more directed you are in your goals or your focus, then you're going to feel like, oh, that's a pinpoint focus. So the better you are at figuring that out, and then that kind of erases, speaking of erasing, whoever did that, can you erase that off the screen? But that kind of puts your blinders on, like those horses that are in a race, they have blinders, so they can't see anything else, right? And so if you are going toward a goal and you have a very specific goal, you then have your blinders on to see everything else, and you can't be distracted from your goal. Now, this next slide is really a simple goal, but you can see how simple it is that it's easy to focus on. Okay, and so I found these in my goals, because sometimes we want to keep goals for our kids. And so it says, oh, here comes Doug. I knew he wasn't going to be able to take this.
I can't take it.
You're going to fix it, honey?
Of course.
Oh, hold on.
Annotate more.
I knew I wasn't going to try because I have no idea how to do that.
I know.
Oh, there's a little eraser. Oh, there you go. Oh, how'd you do that? Okay. So looking at Emma's goals, thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
This is why he came home. Just kidding. Okay, so looking at the goals for Emma. Yeah, Emma, you're on here. Looking at her goals, you know, it looks really simple, doesn't it? Count by 2s, 5s, 10s, teach her how to tie her shoes, teach her how to swallow juice plus capsules. Is that hilarious or what? Those were some goals I had for Emma many, many years ago. So those 3 goals can help me to focus on when I see Emma, what are we going to work on that day, right? So sometimes they can just be really specific. Now I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey of some milestones of what happened in my business so that you can kind of convey that to your own business. Okay, so especially for those people who don't know my story or our story, first of all, I was not committed for about 3 years. Okay, I was happy making the car payment. I mean, I thought I was on cloud 9. I didn't know, and neither did Julie. Amy might have known. Amy is above Julie. Julie and I did not know this could become a business, okay, that we could stay home with our kids or anything like that. She may have mentioned that, but I didn't know. I had just, you know, got 2 master's degrees and was perfectly happy being a guidance counselor. But there, and you could see in this picture, oh, I think that's much later. Is that much later? I was pregnant 2 years in a row as a guidance counselor. So, and my mother-in-law was okay watching one boy, but not okay when it came to that second boy. She's like, you're going to need to come home. And thankfully, Doug got a raise at the same time. So I was able to come home, but I still was perfectly happy making that car payment. I didn't really realize it could be more. And then there was a turning point. That's what the TP part is, where Amy helped me to build my belief in the products. And that made me stronger. So, you know, the journey is one of personal growth. You have to continually become stronger in your belief in the product. So that was one thing that happened. And I was able to then add team because I learned the research. I felt like I could approach any chiropractor or doctor, that I could find the answers if I didn't know the answers. Another turning point was at around 3 years in, people started doing wellness presentations. Now, many of you on the line might not feel like perfect eaters. I wasn't a perfect eater. I grew up in a meat and potatoes family. I was eating M&Ms and junk food, and I was still getting chicken nuggets as we built our house, and that was 3 years in. And so I knew I wasn't a perfect eater. I resisted doing a wellness presentation. I felt like I did not have that ability, number one. I didn't want to. I was a little bit stubborn. I didn't want to. I saw these Boca babes, I called them, who were signing up under Julie and doing them right away. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? The person under me was doing wellness presentations. Again, I wondered what is wrong with me, that I just couldn't do it. I didn't feel like I could do it. So I had a lot of work to do on that. And just me voicing it to Julie saying, you know what, if I have to do a wellness presentation, I may as well quit. And that was just kind of stupid. But I said it, and, you know, it's kind of funny now looking back. But my friend Abby, who was the distributor under me, she's like, Sharon, you know as much as anybody in the room. You're going to know more than the people in the room. And if you forget things, they don't even know what the agenda is, what the script is and all that. And our wellness presentations back then were heavy duty. Fortification, how many pounds of sugar a week, all these different things. And I'm like, ugh. So it's so much easier now. But I resisted that, and that slowed me down. And that's okay. I learned from that. And so that was a turning point. And that's going to build into my last part of tonight is I didn't want to be a speaker, you know, but because I had learned so much from this community, this network of professionals, and I had learned more than the average bear, and I had verified that and verified that and verified that by going to different Prevention Plus lectures, by listening to things. I knew what I knew. And I knew that I could speak the truth to people. And I also had backup. I had videos. So I did it. And that really empowered me. So I'm throwing in there, do your own presentations. It's going to empower you. You're going to learn the most. The teacher learns the most. Once I did that, I built belief in myself. And that's really important, you know, to become stronger and stronger in the belief in yourself, belief in the product, belief in the company. When you go to conference, that happens. When you call and they're so nice to you, that happens. Over time, all these things come together. Well, then I was able to make the mortgage payment. I'll never forget sitting at the dining room table, looking at the house and saying, I just made the mortgage payment. Oh, I'm getting tearful. And so it was really rewarding. Oh, who would have thought I was going to do this? Sorry, kids. They're probably freaking out. Okay, so so then that was a huge turning point. That was when husband believed too. Now, for a long time, hubby did not let me get out of the house, okay? I had 2 boys, and you would think he didn't know how to change diapers. Sorry, honey. But it was like, no, you know. And so for a long time, Amy took my downline distributor out because me and Julie were on a kid break for a long time. But husband believed at that point. So when we say bring home the mortgage payment, we mean it. And back then it was only like $1,000, $1,200, something like that. So that's totally achievable. I also saw my upline moving up. You can see Amy in this picture. She's in the red. She moved up to national marketing director. Julie was getting very professional. She was getting systemized. She was working with doctors. And I was like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. You know, we started the same time. She wasn't serious. I wasn't serious. So it really does matter. If you're a leader, it matters that you have your own goals because your team's going to follow you. It's really important. So I saw those other people moving up and I'm like, why not me? And that's what I want you guys to ask yourself. Why not you? Why wouldn't you be able to do this? I didn't come to the table with any special juice plus skills. You guys are so much healthier than I am as far as eating and exercising. So why not you? You know, I saw others moving up. I'm like, all right, I see that it's for real. The marketing plan's real. That built belief in the marketing plan. And so all that good stuff. And I had hope for the future. I did not want to go back to work at that point. I wanted to be home with those kids. And it also allowed me to have that 3rd child, Emma. So I was able to do that, added a kid, added some team. Over time, I developed my own mission, okay? And this is something you might want to consider, like, what are you all about? You know, is it a worthy thing for you to figure out, what am I all about? What really drives me to talk to these people every day? Because I know you guys are out there doing it. You're hitting the pavement every day. You're facing rejection. Why? You know, and so I came up with my 2 missions. One was that people should know the truth about food. And I was going to make sure that they understood that before they made some choices, you know, and whether they made whatever choices, I just wanted to be that person, that conduit to help them know those choices. The other mission I had was more business related. I wanted to help other mommies be able to stay home with their kids. And so I just kind of leaned on that. That became part of my conversation. And so I continued to talk about that. I continued to move outside my comfort zone, learn and grow. You know, and I continued to do presentations, even though I was so uncomfortable, okay? And years of plugging into calls and events led to writing out goals all the time. So I'm going to switch gears for a second. We're going to come back to my pages of written out goals. You guys are going to see the worst handwriting you've ever seen. But for now, we're going to take a little detour and we're going to just talk about some general business goals. And, you know, don't turn off on me. We're just going to be on this for like 1 second. 24 trio orders is a good goal. To be a qualifying sales coordinator, you're going to make $750 every month. It's residual income based on a consumable product. So that's a good goal. You teach 3 others to do the same, you're going to make like $1,300. Like I said, back then, that was a mortgage payment. When I was able to say goodbye to being a guidance counselor and get to around national marketing director, it was 12 Club, you know, having $3,300 a month or up to $5,000. You know, it depends on your structure and all that stuff. But really, you become qualified. You teach 3 others to do the same. And then you think about right now, think about your 3 main distributors. What if you were able to help them to qualify? And what if you were able to help them teach 3 others to do the same? That's your 12 Club. and it doesn't always work out perfect like that. I know that, but that is the true potential. All right, so let's talk about some fun goals. So I heard a talk a long time ago. If you don't have goals, maybe you need a cleaning lady. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want, if you're a mom, who doesn't want like a mother's helper? My goodness. Who doesn't want a mother's helper? And I loved it when Doug saw that I was serious about the business. He's such a good coach. I want you guys to talk to your spouses. Let them help coach you. Let them give input. You share your dreams and goals with them. Let them be part of that. He said, that's great, honey, that you want to go for it. I need you to get 5 babysitters in your phone. So that's what I did, and that really helped me a lot. And so, making the car payment, making the mortgage payment, those are some other fun goals. But why? Why would those be important to you? So you want to come up with those goals. So maybe the goal is for you to become whatever it is. What do you want to become? Sometimes that's what you want to think about. So do you need some speaking skills or goals? Do you have some self-improvement goals? Do you want to become a better you? Well, how will that make you feel? Sometimes it's good to tie in those feelings with your goals. Maybe you want to enter a bodybuilding contest because you want to become a better you. If that's your definition. How would that make you feel? So you can visualize that and you can tie some feelings into that. Say your goal is to get, enough money so that you can have a babysitter or a mother's helper, just so that you feel relieved that you can say yes to everything you want to say yes to and not have to worry about, oh, I can't say no, or just automatically say, oh, I can't do that. Instead, say more date nights, help your marriage, the ability to say yes, and the ability to focus on the business a little bit more. Don't let your kids be an excuse. Here are 2 pictures I found. I was really gathering a lot of stuff for you guys, okay? These are 2 pictures Doug took of me while I was doing the business. Now, one is in the closet on the right. Remember that, Michelle? I was talking to Sally. Remember that. The other one, I don't know who I was talking to on the left, but I'm on the slide, okay? I took my kids out, gave them a hose, and I talked, okay? So there's really no excuse. I built this business with 3 small babies. You can do it too. 2 of them, for a lot of years, and then 1. And then, you know how that goes. But anyway, so that it's no excuse. You want to make them your reason to do the business. So that, look at them. They now have daddy at home with them. They have daddy at home playing Rock Band with them. If he was working full time, he would not be playing Rock Band. He would be stressed to the max. He probably wouldn't even be home. So, live for your dreams. Live for your dreams. Make those dreams happen. And don't use your kids as an excuse. Get those babysitters in the phone. Make enough money so that you put that aside as something you might want. Okay, so when I was really mapping things out, like the kids would go to Kumon, they would go to school, they would go to the little gym, things like that. I would map out every season where I was going to be, and I'd write in there, make sure you get out of the car. I would say, get out of the car, bring this, like to myself. So writing lists to yourself is really good for every season. Like right now, we just entered a new season, January. Okay. And whatever that may be, whether it's soccer or whatever, so that you can be intentional about where you're going to be, about what you can bring with you, to make sure you get out of the car. Also, arriving early, meeting people, being that person that helps serve others, staying late, helping to clean up. You're going to meet people that way, right? To whatever it is, whether it's a jewelry party or whether it's a wedding, it doesn't matter. And then you always want to be prepared, preparation, being prepared, and opportunity. That's what equals success also. So you want to always be prepared, and you want to step right into opportunities. Whenever, and even if it makes you fearful, you want to step into those opportunities. They're being delivered to you. They're being hand delivered. Okay, so this is not to freak you out. These are many pages in a notebook that I did last year. And, you can go through your life and say, okay, in the category of exercise, what do I want? I want to enjoy exercise. That's what I wrote. Then I started thinking, okay, what should I really want to do or do, and what do I need to do to make that happen. For food, increase more whole foods into the diet. For myself, I just wanted to outline, what do I want, so that I can make sure that the waves of time don't just take over, that I'm more structured, that I'm more intentional, that I'm getting what I want. So like the daily plan at the bottom left, I mean, I can get sucked up into Voxer like nobody, right? But I need to, as a leader, I need to have time to think. That's what was really great about this vacation. I need to have my head on straight so I can lead you guys. So like I had come up with this plan, 6:30 to 9:30. I'm going to do this and that. I need to work on my business. So I said 10 to 12 is going to be proactive time for me to work on my business. Later in the day is a good time for reactive. Okay. So it's always good to put your energy in toward what is going to help you the most at the beginning of the day. Okay. And then over on the right, you could just say, I want less chaos, more peace. And some of that comes from being structured. Okay, here are some goal sheets through the years. Okay, too much rock band. All right, so over here on the left, really, I think is like 2000. And so I started in 1999. And I really, all these years I've been saying that I didn't think I had any goals of staying home till 3 years in. That's really when the rubber hit the road. That's when I saw Matthew go off to a preschool. Daniel was home with me, and I said, I don't want to go back to being a guidance counselor. I like this. I like this a lot. I liked Juice Plus. It was feeding my mind. It was helping people. I was working with team, and it was awesome. I did not want to leave that. So it wasn't until 3 years in, though, that I guess I believed. I didn't realize till I went through all my papers, I had written it right down here at the bottom in 2000. Make a living with Juice Plus so I can stay home permanently. Didn't even know I wrote that till this past weekend. So I had written it, but I didn't believe it, you know? So a lot of things have to come together. That's why you guys need to write things out. You know, you need to revisit your goals. You need to continually grow. You need to continually build your belief. Up here, NMD by August 05, I made it in 06. I just so you guys know, I didn't become a sales coordinator for a year. Everybody's on their own journey. It really doesn't matter. You know, my goal sheets are not your goal sheets. These are just examples of things that I wrote out. And then down here, you know, when I knew I wanted to grow as a person, you know, they always talk about become act as if the person you want to be. You know, if you want to become a national marketing director, start acting like it, you know, as much as you can. You may be able to, you may not be able to. You could always dress like them. You could always go take speaking classes. You can always plug in like them. You could do all kinds of things. I knew that I needed to be more business-like. You see that up there? I need to be more business and system-like. I still do. And then look, it says with PowerPoints. So that shows you how long ago that was. Anyway, things willing to do. Ask, watch other leaders, Toastmasters. This was like some other kind of goals thing I had to do sometime or another. I was on a call, actions following this call. So I think that was a Catherine Lee call. I try to take advantage of all calls. One night I was on the phone on a call many, many years ago. This was when I was a QNMD or almost a QNMD, making like $3,000 a month, okay? Everybody was asleep. And I'm listening to Marty Jackson. I think that's her name. And she's going through these goal sheets. And it may have even been the goal sheet that I uploaded today. I really like that one. And she said, you know what? If you can't come up with a goal for yourself, come up with a goal for someone else. Like, ding, 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 because I really couldn't come up with a goal. I'm pretty content as a person. Well, that was back then. I'm not sure about now. But anyway, but back then I couldn't come up with like anything that I wanted. And so I said, oh, I know the perfect thing. I'm going to get Doug his dream car. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you have kids, you shuffle cars. So then I end up with a van. He ends up with a girl Mustang. Well, that was like an abomination, apparently, because that was not GT. It was not stick shift, and, you know, it didn't have a fin and big tires or wheels, whatever. So I was like, okay, that's the perfect goal. And so it was in this room. I'm in Emma's room right now. That was actually before Emma existed. This picture, you know, is way later. But before Emma existed, I had an office in her room. And so I put it on a little tiny sticky, 3,600, that if I increased my paycheck to that amount, that's when I would go buy that car for Doug. Well, it wasn't until that happened that Doug also was really sold out for the business, enough that he got a sticker at conference once that said powered by Juice Plus. And he had always told me, I don't believe in stickers on cars. Well, that sticker went right on that Mustang, because that Mustang is powered by Juice Plus. And so you want to create those stories for yourself. Don't just keep all your bonus money to yourself. Say, hey, hubby, let's go do what you want. Let's reward the family for, putting up with our Juice Plus obsessed lifestyle, okay? Let's just put it right out there. We are obsessed, and Jay Martin calls it abscessed, sick about it. We love working the Juice Plus business, so why not give to others, in our family? Okay, switching gears again. The Goals book is really good by Brian Tracy. And so some of the things that he talks about in there is just saying to yourself, I am responsible. There were many times when I might have gotten mad about this or that maybe Doug didn't do. This is too much information, I'm sure. But once I read that Goals book, and he said, if you find yourself blaming, whining, complaining, you're taking away your own power. You're not a victim. Instead, you have to say to yourself, I am responsible. So, one day it was just this cracked window. I was like, okay, I keep thinking that Doug's going to do it. I am responsible. So then I did it. So sometimes when you find yourself, in a bad place and you don't even know you're in a bad place, really, you just have to say, I am responsible. That will give you that control to take control of your business, of your life. And do what you can to make things happen. And obstacles are what you see when you take your eyes off your goals. So always having your goals in front of you and remembering them, it's always a good thing. Okay, so moving forward in the business, I had put up there at first getting to NMD or something. Not everybody's going to want to get to NMD, but maybe you want to continue to move forward. Well, here are some things that helped me to move forward. Like I said, I didn't come with special skills, but I was consistent. I continue to be consistent. I have a responsibility. I have a team. I have customers. And if I'm not consistent, I know that momentum is lost. You lose momentum if you go away for a while. You feel less confident, number one, because you've lost that oomph, you've lost that consistency that comes with momentum, and you just lose your mojo for a while. It takes more to get back your momentum if you go away from it. Persistence, just being persistent. I love that 100 rejections or whatever video that I also put on Team Transformers. You could just accept no and walk away. But if you're confident, you're not going to accept no. You're going to be persistent because you know what you know, and they don't. So asking a question, oh, what do you mean? That way you're continuing the conversation. Listen to that YouTube, but be persistent in this business. I think that consistency and persistence were two main things that really helped me to succeed in this business. Willingness to be uncomfortable. Some people are not ready to be uncomfortable. Well, to be uncomfortable, that's how you're going to move up. Just embrace it. Just make little baby steps toward that. Coaching. I sought coaching from Julie, from Amy, from Wendy, from Jeannie Williams. There were times when they said, Sharon, you need to focus on the positive because you're in a bad place right now. Because I was really trying to reach for a goal. And they said, look at the benefits that you've already received. Write those down. So sometimes you got to reach out to your upline and have that coaching. And then you want to have the desire to succeed. That's another thing that helps you move forward. Having that desire. If you don't have that desire, you're not going to be able to, obviously. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit, though, is what keeps you going. Here is another way to just put your goals onto some kind of visualization. In the Build It Big book, they talk about how there's a separate part of your brain that actually takes in visual images to motivate you. So some things are subconscious that we do, or so routine. But being able to visualize what you want from your life by making dream boards, that's fun. It's a fun little get together too. Here's one of my first dream boards, and so many of these things have been realized. It's amazing. And so it's really important for you guys to do stuff like that. You can just start collecting things that you want out of your life. One of the things I wanted was to play more racquetball. I'm in heaven now. With the people I play racquetball with, it makes me so happy. And I remember being in a lone room in racquetball praying, please deliver somebody for me to play racquetball with. I have rooms and rooms of people I play racquetball with every day if I want to. So, put it down. Go be goal directed for what you want. Another thing that I thought I would just go ahead and, for the longest time, 39 Club hung over my head. And I don't know how much you guys know that story, but I had made it to 39 Club, but then I fell backwards with the recession. I didn't really lose income, but not everybody was on board getting clubs and things like that. So I moved backward, and it just was like, I want to get back to the spa. That was really my only goal. I just wanted to go to the spa every year. So when you see pictures of me at the spa, I couldn't be happier. That is all I wanted. So that's why that was on that dream board. So then when I had to try to get back there, I said, you know what? I'm not going to go for 39 Club. I'm going to go for 50 Club, because they came up with this inaugural 50. And I said, all right, that's it. I'm going to be part of the inaugural 50 Club. So sometimes you got to make your goals bigger than the same goals you've been going after. Make them bigger so that you shoot higher. And that way it kind of makes you move outside. It changes your paradigm of how you think, believe it or not. If you make your goal even bigger, it's going to make you think, oh, well, I really do need to change my habits or my lifestyle so that I can meet that goal. I hope that makes sense. Michelle loved this. I see her on the screen. Muscle up. That's still a goal. And that car, I don't know. I picked that out. Just somebody handed me that during the dream board party. That's the car I have. You just never know what's going to happen, with these things. Okay, and I gave you this sheet. It's the John Goddard sheet. And it's the one where Julie wrote down the 10 things, and she got all 10 things. And it's a great story where this guy wrote down all these goals, and he achieved most of them. So writing them down, there's something magical in it. And most of these have been realized by Doug, the car of his dreams. I thought it'd be fun for you guys to see, me before now. Make Q and NMD, get benefits. See, that was not a reality for me back then. Help family achieve optimal health. We're getting there. Help Matthew. Feel comfortable about presenting. Number 13. That's really key to how I'm going to end this too. Feel comfortable about presenting. I still was not comfortable. So there's all kinds of different things I put on there. Okay. Here are the 2 sheets you guys have been provided on your team Facebook groups. Definitely suggest you work on these and read goals books. I don't think that you can get enough of reading self-development books. I am so super pumped right now because I had that time off, because I worked on personal growth. And Wendy Campbell on her call today, same thing. Oh my gosh. She's been like delving into all these books, and she's leaving us Voxer messages. She's like, I'll bet you guys wish I was still in China. So anyway, it's amazing how it helps provide focus for you to really delve into those self-help books. Now, another way, so I don't suggest one way or the other. You can do all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be on a box, what you do. Some people are doing what's your word for the year, That's another way in which you can kind of get with yourself on what makes sense to you, okay? So I want to tell you about what was kind of my word or my theme for this particular year, 2014. So as I told you, I particularly don't want to speak, okay? Not even tonight. It gets me stressed out. I'm sweating, just so you know, but I have a message to share, right? So Lynn Reynolds and her co-partner, her partner up there in the Palm Beaches, they kept booking me. Hey, Sharon, can you come speak for us? And I feel bad because they don't have an NMD or a speaker. I'm like, all right. So I had to really get my act together for them. And then people, whenever I would speak, they'd be like, you're so good, Sharon. You say it in such real terms and all this. And so people pumped me up about speaking. And so then I was like, okay, mind you, I said no to Leanne Gordon at least twice about speaking at the Orlando Regional. But that year that Lynn Reynolds was having me speak, I was like, all right, this is the year. This is the year I'm going to embrace speaking. Now, it wasn't like my one word, but it was like my theme. Okay, these opportunities keep presenting themselves. I need to embrace it, that I have to become a speaker to move forward in the business, okay? So up here on the left is me finally speaking at the Orlando Regional. And I think I spoke another time after that. Over on the right, I was on the Wendy Campbell call. I duck out of these things. You won't see me really volunteering. Like in an NMD chat, unless I'm called upon, I'm not really volunteering. But I did, I don't remember whether I volunteered, but I said yes to speaking on that call. A big one, and Jules, you'll appreciate this, down in the bottom left, she had an opportunity for me to go speak on her dad's company cruise. She wasn't allowed to do it because she was family. And that was huge. And I had to even speak about exercise, which, if you know me, I am not an expert in exercise. So I just kind of had to throw some things out there as good suggestions, So all these things I didn't want to do, all right? But they become easier. So Gordon Hester says the best goal you can have for yourself is one that's going to create a better habit. So if I know that speaking in this business is a good habit, right? You can be empowered by speaking and sharing your knowledge, whether it's your story or whether it's a presentation. That's a good habit. So he says rituals become your life. Whatever you're doing, more and more of, you're going to become better and better at. In the Goals book by Brian Tracy, he says focus on what you do want. Visualize what you want to happen. So that's going to key into this, okay? So remember, visualize what you want to happen. Focus on what you do want. So I'm over in Germany on this trip of a lifetime that I never expected. Julie, you'll see Julie in the blue over here, she was invited to Europe. I'm like, I want to go. And I just wanted to go, I didn't want to go speak. I mean, can you imagine? I just told you how much I don't want to speak. She's like, yeah, Sharon, you're going to go and you're going to go speak with me on the main stage. I'm like, okay, and so I had to really get myself together for that. And so reading that Goals book, I was in Germany like 2 nights before this talk. And that Goals book really helped me a lot. It said, visualize what you want to happen. Now I could have just thought, okay, I'm just going to get this over with. I'm really upset. I don't really want to do this. I could have just focused on that. I focused on, I'm going to give a banging presentation. So they're going to invite me back. I'm not going to do like mediocre crap. So that is really what those books do for you. So yes, the happiest moments are after you do something you think you couldn't. Okay. So what does that do for you? It builds your self-confidence, okay? Your level of self-confidence is directly tied to how effective you feel you are in achieving your goals. Not how effective you actually are, how effective you are in achieving your goals. So it's very important you know exactly what you want to do and what you want to be, who you want to be. Self-confidence. Your thoughts create your life. If you sow clear goals, you will reap clear results. Okay, so really important that you know where you're going. Almost done, you guys. Few people realize that success is within their reach right now. The secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. You know what? Time washes away. Urgency. I try to get that across to you guys as much as possible. Urgency to my kids, to you guys, because days slip away, weeks slip away. You can see that when you're trying to work with somebody on their HLP or their VF. It's like, oh my gosh, where did the time go? They just signed up. You know, every day matters. So, secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. In fact, if I could spend 10 hours with you tomorrow observing how you spend your day, I could tell with about 95% accuracy how successful you are. This is not me talking. I forget what book I got this from. Sorry, guys. Most people underestimate today and overestimate tomorrow. They promise themselves that they're going to turn their lives around tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. Success is determined by the daily decisions you make and the daily disciplines you practice. So habits matter, right? That's it. Daily decisions relate to goal setting, and daily disciplines involve goal doing or acting on the choices you've made. So it's really, really important. Will it be easy? Nope. And time might pass by. And, you know, is it worth it? Absolutely. So that's how I wanted to end this tonight. I hope that inspires you guys to at least do your 2 sheets, right? I hope. Okay, so I am going to stop the recording. And I thank you guys for listening in.